Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report, as well as all the other stuff I do. If you are looking for inspiration, looking for help, trying to eat a little bit better, I'm back on keto. I started on Monday. I've got to get some of this weight off, got to get my cholesterol down, got to get my blood pressure down, or I won't be out here for too much longer being able to do the fireside chat. So maybe we can all support each other. So ends another day. And another crazy day. The fact that the Dallas Cowboys have been out of the playoffs for a week and a half is crazy, but they're still the headline news. But that's what Jerry Jones has built, a dysfunctional family that everybody likes to watch like a car crash. So yesterday we had the Shaq going on and saying that he should fire Mike McCarthy and bring on Deion Sanders. Before, it used to be Dan Quinn should be the head coach, but it looks like he's going to get a head gig with probably Denver. Brian Leftwich took care of the vacancy, the first hire right now in Jacksonville, with more I'm sure to come in the next few days or so. Teams are going to want to get themselves together to get ready for free agency as well as the beginning of the league year to start building what they hope will be a Super Bowl team. It's what 31 teams will be doing in another week and a half, or excuse me, 2.5 weeks. So here's what I believe to be true, that Sean Payton will be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I think that finding out that there was originally a deal in place just 2 years ago that New Orleans decided we can't lose Anthony Davis and Sean Payton in the same month, and he pulled it back. The fact that Jerry Jones tried to get him before, you know, when you have more money than a lot of countries, you're used to getting your way. And sometimes when things don't work out, you get this bad taste in your mouth that you're going to go ahead and get fixed no matter what it costs. And Jerry Jones has enough money to fix it at whatever cost. But I don't think that that's going to happen this year. I believe Sean Payton will take a year and just kick back, relax, maybe do the television thing and all that. It's not like he's needing money where, you know, when we lose our job, we immediately need to find another one because we got bills due, you know, next week. So we got to make sure we're not missing a paycheck. But we're talking about Sean Payton that's got plenty of money and plenty of resources to kick back. And he will become the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I think if you're Mike McCarthy right now, you're already seeing the writing on the wall and knowing that this is the last roundup for you here. And you best be doing the best job that you can so that way your resume looks good for the next guy. You go through and have a great season again, knowing that you're about to get axed, you'll get another job in the NFL. You've already turned the narrative on what happened in Green Bay, especially with Aaron Rodgers failing again without you. 3 times, home field advantage, and nada. The problem will be is this. There's wild cards out there. And probably the biggest wild card out there would be the Raiders. See, think back to a couple years ago when they decided John Gruden is our guy. We want John Gruden at all costs. And they signed him to a staggering 10-year, $100 million contract. Nobody else has gotten a contract like that as head coach. 10 years, $100 million. Now, I don't know what the buyout is on the rest of that contract, but in the time that he was there, you can't look and say that that was a success. But it's the Raiders. And see, they can offer to Sean Payton a lot of money. But they can also offer something that the Cowboys can't and won't. That is, he could be GM, coach and GM. And you have to understand that Sean Payton is from that Bill Parcells coaching tree, who famously said, if you want me to cook the dinner, then I need to buy the groceries. And see, herein lies the problem with this. Sometimes great coaches aren't great player personnel people. You've seen great coaches say, I need to be GM. And they turn around and run a team to the ground. And we can go back to John Gruden, because, see, John Gruden, this is why I originally was wanting to bring in John Gruden as the coach for the Cowboys. Because John Gruden is not a guy who can build a team. John Gruden was a guy who, once they had players, could coach them. I looked at the team that was built by Tony Dungy, and he took them to a Super Bowl. The thing was, once those players started aging out, he wasn't able to replenish the supply, which is why they went down the toilet. Which is why when he went to the Raiders and he was the GM and the coach, he's not that guy. And he ran the ground. And that's when they ended up bringing Mike Mayock and thinking, well, he knows everything about the draft. He'll be great at getting the team together. Well, they did make the playoffs this year without John Gruden. But there's cases that you can look around where Adam Gase became the de facto GM for the Jets. And, of course, that didn't work out real good. You can look at the Texans where Bill O'Brien thought he was, the GM, and turned around and got rid of Hopkins for a broke-down running back. He made great decisions like that. Just great decisions. And you see how they can run them in the ground. So if you're Sean Payton and you've got plenty of money and you can just pick and choose, that there could be a wild card out there that says, hey, we know that Jerry Jones is going to meddle. We know that Will McClay and Stephen Jones are going to help pick the player personnel. Here's what we can do for you. You can do it all. You can pick the players. You can shop for the groceries. You can do whatever you want. You can have whatever you like. Yeah. And that would be the only reason why Sean Payton doesn't become the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I think that this thing right now is already written in stone. It's just not going to happen this year. We'll see what happens, but I don't think Dion's going to be the coach of the Cowboys. I think Mike McCarthy will be for one more year, and that's the way it's going to be. At least the one thing that you got to figure with that is Sean Payton will have enough balls to go toe-to-toe with Jerry. And Sean Payton has no problem taking blame for what happens on the field. And I dare say the players being nervous about playing the other team, they might be nervous, but it won't be about playing against the other team. They'd be nervous about keeping their jobs. And maybe accountability and an offensive genius is what this team needs. But if you get him, you've got to get a lights-out defensive coordinator, because I believe Sean Payton was cooking for them when they went through those 7-9 seasons where great offense, Drew Brees throwing for 5,000 plus yards and more touchdowns you can shake a stick at. But their defense was one of the worst in the NFL. They had Rob Ryan there as a defensive coordinator. You're going to need somebody who is a great mind on defense to take care of the defense, because Sean Payton only cares about the offense. That's his thing. You're going to need a strong personality that really can run the defense if you do this, if you're talking about Super Bowls. So, It's about 18 degrees out here. It's kind of cold. Fish pond has got a layer of ice on it. The water's still trickling real slow. I'm going to get my behind out of here right now. And I'm going to go ahead and carry my behind to bed. And God willing, I'll be here tomorrow to get you up to speed on the Cowboys, to do some work in my workshop, and to try and get in better shape. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you all, and I hope to see you in the morning. Thanks as always. Boy, it's cold out here. Jeez.